On today's Retro Spot, we're having a look at the Kenner Aliens figures. We're looking today at Gorilla Alien with Face Hugger. Figure includes a Dark Horse comic book inside. As indicated down below, warning contains small parts which may present a choking hazard to children under 3. This is a very old line, actually, from Kenner. For the most part, the packaging has held up. I've had these packed away. Unfortunately, the bubble, which is prone to yellowing, which is some of the problems with some of the earlier figures. I guess the gentleman who I bought it from maybe didn't have these kept away as well as they could. Usually this is an indication as well that these might have had some exposure to sunlight, and the fact that the bubble has yellowed the way that it has. But still, I love the artwork on the top there. A little more of a cartoonier version of the xenomorph. It grabs and squirts victims. That's never a good thing. On the back of the package, oh, love this retro toy design. This comes to us, by the way, from what did we look at, 1986? No, 1992. Sorry, 1992 is this line. Down below it indicates squeeze head, then immerse mouth in water, release to fill head with water, squeeze head to squirt water, squeeze spikes together to open alien arms to grab hero figures down below. Other figures that you can get from the Alien line, there's the Alien Queen, Gorilla Alien, Scorpion Alien, Bull Alien, and then of the Space Marines, Lieutenant Ripley, Corporal Hicks, Sergeant Apone, Drake, Bishop, and ATACs in disguise. Vehicles, Power Loader, which is something I always wanted to get, I never got a chance to get. AVAC Fighter, and then the Stinger XT-37 vehicle. There is also a little collector card, which I think is really neat too. Let's just zoom up there for a bit. For the Gorilla Alien, it says Origin Jungle Planet Zivan. Colony 51 workers, 1 queen, 36 eggs. The wear, high blood and concentration is 75.32%. Destruct point, rapid fire weapons crack, exoskeleton. This is interesting. Let's zoom into that. Caution, not recommended for children who still put objects in their mouths, contain small parts. Maybe they don't. They really should just say not recommend for anyone who puts things in their mouths, because I know some people that still put things in their mouths, adults. Pencils. You can always tell people that, you know, you borrow somebody's pencil and there's like gnaw marks all over it, like they've just been sitting there chewing away at their pencil. There's also a small read-up says, dark, empty, silent, this is deep space, and vicious aliens are attacking. One force has the guns and the guts to face these ugly monsters. Send in the heavy metal, send in the Space Marines. The invasion is on. I definitely, when I do these reviews, I always want to keep the cards, because this is very retro. Speaking of retro, I'm going to resume this retro spot by opening up this package, taking a bit of a break, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Gorilla Alien. Stay tuned, there is more on the way. Before we have a look at the Gorilla Alien, the comic that does come included, you know what, I really have to say, of all the toy lines, really of all the toy companies, Kenner I've always been the most impressed by. They always go above and beyond, you know, taking a page, not really a relative page to this, but even when I was doing the review of some of the Superman figures, the fact that they came with a trading card, clearly that line of cards was made exclusively for the toys, and the fact that they took the time, even still, like to do the comics, like this is the Gorilla Alien Jungle Attack, and we've actually got ourselves a comic inside. This comic was designed, this mini comic was designed for this toy line. And I think that's it just shows extra work that the companies have done. You certainly would not have gotten this nowadays. No siree. This also this much reminds me as well of the Masters of the Universe line back in the day too. That also came with mini comics. If anything, I'm going to hold on to these comics, even if down the road maybe I just, you know, get sell these or whatever I end up doing down the road with them. These comics I definitely will hold on to. These are very cool. So good job, Kenner. I salute you. A fantastic job on the fact that you took the extra little love and did these on the side. Very cool. The one accessory that comes with the Gorilla Alien, you get yourself a face hugger. Zoom in. That little hair, by the way, see this little hair? I added that. That wasn't with the toy. I thought the toy needed a little bit extra, I don't know, je ne sais quoi. You get yourself a face hugger. Not quite colored as it was in the movie. The movie, obviously, was more of a flesh color. In this, we get a nice, you know, if this was a flavored gummy, ooh, that could have been a nice, potentially cool line of candies. Face hugger candies, face hugger gummies. This would have been probably a blue raspberry. Quite delicious until it got latched onto your face. It's obviously intended, I don't have one with me right now, but it's intended to be put on the face. You pretend like my finger is the face of one of the Marines from this line. You could put this on the face, or you could really put it on like a G.I. Joe, really anything. Sorry, what? Marvel Universe? You could put it on Marvel Universe figures as well. Thank you for that good suggestion. But this is neat. I mean, I like the fact that they include it. That's a little nice added touch. A different color would have made more sense, but clearly they want to make it match the Gorilla Alien here. Speaking of Gorilla Alien, here is the actual toy out of package. It's pretty neat. You know, it's pretty neat. It's obviously not accurate to the movie. They've put a little extra oomph into the toy. They've given it this kind of blue, what color do you want to call that? Like aquamarine blue, along with the black going on there. His tail is movable. His tail surprisingly looks like a little hand, which is like a little claw. Probably just a little extra thing that they decide, hey, why not? Let's give the tail a little personality too. But pretty nice detail work. For a smaller, it's a stumpier version of course, of the Alien. But it's neat. It is definitely neat. The gimmick, as mentioned on the package, I'll zoom into his face. The idea is you would squeeze this. You hear that? That's basically the air coming out. If you had a glass of water, you'd have the alien suck into that water, and then you could squirt it again by pressing the head here, and that would squirt the water. One thing I don't do is I never fill these water toys with water, because you never get all the water out. You can pretend, you can convince yourself that, yeah, sure, I got all the water out. But there's always that little bit of residual in there, and that gets all funky and gross, and God knows what's growing in there after a while. So I will leave the water out of it. Keep the toy, if anything. I know it's out of package now, but try to keep the toy as in good condition as possible. I personally am not from the school of filling water toys with water. Unless it's a water gun, you know, that makes sense. Aside from that, that is one gimmick. Is one gimmick. On the back of the toy, you'll also notice the back spine here. When you squeeze those together, we turn around the toy here. Again, you can imagine that there is a marine toy in the middle there, human toy, and when you squeeze these together, the hands will open and close. So you can pretend like he comes up and, Bernie, I haven't seen you in a long time, you know, and grab him and then basically chew away at his face. A neat gimmick. Despite the fact it still has this, you can still move the arms all the way around. His articulation also is the fact that his head does rotate. As mentioned, his arms do move. They move out, but really only that relies on the gimmick. And also his legs do rotate. Standard 5 points of articulation. You know, as a retro collector, we wouldn't have it any other way. That's the way that we like to roll. Oh, and also, really, let's not forget the tail. There's movement there as well. A really fun toy for a kid back in the day, and it's still baffling to think that Kenner released a Alien line, because, you know, not really a lot of kids, unless they, you know, stuck to their friend's house and watched it, probably not a lot of kids would have had the chance to watch Alien. Probably would have been a little scary for them. Aliens, same idea. But it's funny, some of the lines that came out back in the day of really graphic movies. RoboCop is really another example. The bull alien, the gorilla alien. Thank you again to who said that. The gorilla alien. He's fun. He's got a really neat gimmick, and he's got a pretty cool color scheme. The gorilla alien, I am going to give him a 6.5. Today's retro spot, we're having a look at the Kenner alien figures. Today we're having a look at the gorilla alien that does this and does this. Very, very cool. Let me know down below. Maybe you had this line when you were growing up. Maybe you even had this figure. Let me know down below your thoughts. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bernie!